Hey guys, and welcome. I am the Seven Swords, and we are back in Skyrim. I have just gotten back from vacation, and I am also now just noticing how late in the evening it is.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire
Um,
ghosts or something.
we're gonna head into the Bannered Bear and get some sleep because I did not realize how
Come on in. We have
late it
warm
was
food,
in the game.
warm drinks, and warm beds. I enjoy this work well. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room right this way.
I know where
Need
it is.
anything else? Just let me know.
I'm just going to ignore her and get up here and get to sleep. Um, we'll sleep till 9 in the morning. But I have just gotten back from vacation. I will be making an update video about some information thanks to what I've learned over my vacation. Um, but as a lot of you probably are aware,
Anything else you
um, or at least as most of you became aware early on when this was being recorded, YouTube is making a decision that I can't say I agree with, but it's their platform. They can do what they want, I guess. But they've decided to add an AI that will try to determine what your age is, and if it determines that you might be under 18, it'll flag your account, and you'll basically have to prove that you're over 18 by providing them with
got
personal
something to say
information.
about anybody in here.
I disagree with this thought process and will not
You
be
look rather pale.
providing them with my
Could be
personal information.
ataxia. It's quite a
I
problem
prefer
back home,
having
you
my
see.
anonymity when on
So
um,
you're an alchemist then.
the internet and when on YouTube. So if my content suddenly stops, that's because they won't let people under the age of 18 make content. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping I'll still be able to make content. But if it does stop, if my over 18 content stops, then, well, point the finger at YouTube. If that is their decision, then that is their decision. But I don't plan on um, putting my information more on the internet than I have to, and I don't consider YouTube to um, deserve that.
Come back
So
anytime if you
I
need a
will be
rest.
making that decision. Um, how close are we to a level up? What is our alchemy at? Our alchemy's at 80. I don't think she can train above 80.
Pardon me, but do I detect a case of...
Can you?
You already know all that I know.
Um,
I have several elixirs for sale.
but yeah, if my content suddenly stops, that's why. Um, I do apologize, but I will not be spoiling. I might put up a video that's a just-in-case video that will say what Sarah's story was going to be, my plans for, at least as what I had as of now. Her story is dynamic, it changes as I play. If I feel that something has happened to alter what should happen, then I make that decision. But I do have an overall consideration of where we're going. Forgot that we had the hunting knives now. I might get a steel hunting knife, because I know that that one's just generally good. Tough, still basic. This steel knife is better at skinning than iron version, which is probably better than the bone, which I'm going to grab it because we might as well have something for skinning since she is doing a little bit more hunting and I plan on trying to do a little bit more. We are carrying some stuff. In the last one we were in Labyrinthia, she found the bone mask. I'm now also realizing that I don't have my stuff on. Let's go ahead and switch over to that real quick. I don't think we need to because of the amount of money, which is why I normally forget, but we will switch over. We are carrying Morky. I'm planning on going back to Labyrinthia and turning Morky over to the shrine. We will not be turning over Volsung because, well, this is why. Volsung is useful for trading, even though I forget a lot. I did remember that we had Magic Circlet, Mage's Circlet, which basically Mage's Circlet is better than our Peerless Magic Circlet, because that only did 70 magicka. This does 100 magicka, so...
I'd even buy one of your relatives if you're looking to sell. Yeah, that's a little joke.
Sarah doesn't actually have any relatives left that she knows of. In D&D, she has a lot of relatives she's unaware of. Some are direct blood of, like, siblings. Some are, because her father was an adventurer, and he did adventure. And then some are just, she's got cousins and stuff like that that she doesn't realize she has. It's actually an interesting situation when in the D&D campaign that she was in, that when she met her grandfather, because he was not a friendly character when she first met him, but she became very fond of him later into their relationship. I forgot to grab the soul gems we needed for the college. I meant to grab them while we were at the Clockwork Castle. As far as that goes, about her being at Clockwork Castle, she did spend a little bit of time there. I basically was in all reality, I was sorting out my inventory. I was going around sorting all of the rooms, putting everything where they were supposed to be. I sorted out the entire Dynamo system and all that. For her, she was for herself, she was also there studying. She studied a bit into the books that she had been picking up. She studied a bit into the magics. I always think that she is studying more into Aetherius magic itself, because she has a reason to want to understand it better. But one of the things that I am under the impression that she did while there was that she did look into that Book of Elements. I am now aware that this Windward Ruins is one of the 3 locations I have to go to. I know the other one, I think, is somewhere down here. I'm not entirely sure where, though. I think it's like right here, but I'm not entirely sure where. And then the other one is actually this Four Skulls Lookout. I'm under the impression she did some studying. I kind of understood it, that it was like the northern coast down where Dwemer live, but I wasn't really sure where on the northern coast I was supposed to go, and I wasn't really one for looking into it. So she probably will be going up to Windward Ruins at some point today. We might swing up to Labyrinthia and then swing over to Dawnstar if we get that far. We're going to Labyrinthia first to drop off Morky. Her main reason for putting the Dragon Priest masks in Labyrinthia is not only does it feel like that's where they belong, but she also feels like it's also partially for her to confirm her suspicions. She also feels like Labyrinthia is probably the safest place for it. Clockwork Castle, which is actually in like that direction, I think, is a good location for it because nobody can reach that location except her and the Gilded, Lahar and Lamashtu. But she knows that it's not perfect. She found her way there eventually. It's always possible somebody will eventually find their way there. Now, in my head, she has given Lamashtu and Lahar information of like, if somebody somehow finds their way there, they are to be provided with food, and they are provided with some monocle shelter, but they're to be treated. They're not to be treated as like a guest. They're to be treated as like, um, they're to be treated as basically like a trespasser, but they're to be given some hospitality. They are to be told to wait somewhere, and either Sarah, and then they can contact Sarah, because I'm under the impression she has a couple of spells that the game doesn't take into consideration, like Lamashtu and Lamar have like a way of contacting her if they need to, either through some kind of Dwemer contraption or through magic. And they're basically told, keep an eye on them. Don't let them in my armory. Don't let them into any of my storages. Don't let them go poking around. I will return, and when I come back, I will deal with them. Is basically what she has told them. And that's basically how she feels about the situation. She doesn't it's not that she doesn't trust people, it's that she knows there's a lot of stuff in her that she's acquired that is very dangerous. She has a lot of stuff that has a lot of strong magicka. A few items to talk about are like the staff that she found when she learned about the Soul Cairn, the witches' heads, all of the Daedric items she has collected, which, speaking of which, something else to talk about while searching through her items. What is with my... I need to figure out why my weight is so high. I don't think it's because... It might be because of Yorkie. It's only 4. We might have to... I might have to look into dropping some stuff. It's probably all the potions I'm carrying, actually, now that I think about it. And I think I bought a few things that I don't need to be carrying. I also have these Dwemer pipes I don't need to be carrying. I have all these ingots. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff on me still that I don't need. We'll probably head to Clockwork Castle at some point, and I will drop those off. But I am not super bothered by it right now. Let's go ahead and cancel that. And what I will do is real quick, like, save, crouch, and let's go ahead and process this real quick. I think I showed this off in one of the other ones, but I have changed the settings in Hunterborn again. Basically what it does is if I'm crouched, I will basically go through all of the processes, and then I basically have to click it once to prepare it, once to do all the processes that I can, and then click on it again for disposal. And I wanted to be able to do that because it not only will make it a lot faster because I won't be needing to go through clunky menus, but it will also help encourage me to do it more often. I can still, if I'm not crouching, I will still open the menu like you saw back there, but I do have that option. But what I was meaning to talk about before I realized my inventory weight is well above what it should be. I am back to carrying Dawnbreaker. I apologize for that. I had an alarm set to go off this morning, and apparently it just went off. 1 second while I take care of the rest of the alarms that I had set for this morning. I had to make sure I was up at a relatively decent time, and part of it was because I wanted to do a recording today because I wanted to get this recording out. Like I said, I will be making a full talk on the whole YouTube situation on an update video I'm planning on doing for my channel. On top of the other bit of information that I would like to share, what I was back to what I was saying though. We got Dawnbreaker now. Sarah wanted a sword she could carry that would be a decent sword that has a decent enchantment and a decent a couple of other decent things. So she's got Dawnbreaker back. She's no longer a vampire, so she no longer suffers from it. She could have got it back when she was a werewolf, but she hadn't considered it. Alright, now let's put the wooden mask on. There's actually a chest here. I wonder if you put the wooden mask in the chest, would it, like, make it to where you could never come back here? Because the wooden mask would be sealed here. That's Volsung, that's Vorik, that's Otar, that's Morky. So we have one of the 8 Dragon Priest masks that we need. Well, we've turned in 1. We have 2, because we have Volsungs as well, but we're not going to be turning Volsungs in at the moment. My main reason for this is because of the fact that, like I said, I like Volsung's effect. The fact that it can let me breathe underwater is very useful for when we're in areas that are underwater. But we will be looking for all of these eventually. There are a few of them that we can't get till late in the game, so this will be something that we are working on for a while. But this is one of Sarah's goals, is to complete the shrine and have all 8 of the Dragon Priest masks back here. I do think that she is doing research, since I can see that it says like it's Volsung's bust, Vokun's bust, Otar's bust, Rogut's bust, Narkin's bust, Hendr's bust, and Curious' bust. She knows their names. I think it's like carved into there with like in like a language that she's learned to read, either because of her studies or because of the Dragonborn shouts. But she's starting to understand these, and she knows these names, and so she's been doing research. She knows she has Volsung, and she knew she had Morkies, but I don't think we have any of the others. I thought we had one more, but I did not find it. I thought we had found another Dragon Priest mask. I might have been wrong. We have found a lot of masks that are not Dragon Priest masks, and the wooden mask does not count here. I also did, while I was off camera, I did try to use Zenithar's blink or Zurin's blink to travel outside of this room by going through these little bars. You can do it. It's not. I wouldn't suggest it because this is basically floating in a void. It's not. It's not. It's not actual. There's not much rendered around it, so it's pretty dangerous to be out there because if you slip through, you're going to end up falling out. And I don't know what happens if you fall out of the world in Skyrim. So we will not be doing that. I might put a video up about that, but I'm not going to be doing that. What we are going to be doing is we're going to be leaving this place. So we can head towards Dawnstar. I do want to get that taken care of today. Put back on Cerberus' amulet. Put back on the mage's. Actually, no, the diadem. We're going to be using the diadem. I'm going to probably be switching back and forth between them as I like both of them. The diadem will make it to where we cast even less. Our spells cost even less. And the circlet would give us a lot more magicka. I actually feel like it's probably, yeah, it would bring us up to 583. So it's like kind of like 1/5 of our magicka. It would increase our magicka by 1/5. So it's pretty good. I heard a troll, which is probably over there. I'm just going to ignore it. But yeah, I feel like she's kind of interested in these masks. She's interested in the book of elements. There are probably people out there who are going to say that it's kind of wrong for me to go on and look up stuff on the internet for this, but I am kind of like trying to find out how she could have done it in game. Like, she has access to a lot of magics. She also has access to Aetherius magic completely. She could always have just meditated on Aetherius magic and tried to see where the book resonated with, which I would guess it would resonate with these 3 separate locations. Give her a general idea of where she's going. Which is one reason why I don't mind doing her meditating for a short period of time and then figuring out where she needs to go to get the items she needs to get. I am tempted to throw on to do a meditation right now and gain Rise of Magicka and Iron Flesh because Stone Hills discovered. This place isn't of any interest. Looks like a normal camp. Probably a mining outpost. That's what I'm guessing with this being a mine. A mine! This is no mine. Basically a settlement.
Guess the Empire is going to need plenty of iron, what with all the fighting. That'll be good for us, I suppose. One of the guards said he saw a mage appear out of thin air.
I'm pretty sure this place is Stormcloak territory. At least I thought it was. Maybe they're maybe they're Morthal, and maybe Morthal aligns to the Empire. I don't know. I personally don't really know much about the war myself. I know a little bit about it, and I know a little bit about what's going on. Sarah has been thinking about the war. It's something that is on her mind a lot lately, especially with the fact that we've heard recent talk about the war being closer and closer to Whiterun. In her mind, in game, it'll never actually happen because nothing progresses without you actually doing anything in it. So the war does not change as long as you don't interfere. But in her world, the war is getting closer because Whiterun is a central location. This is the weirdest place to remain neutral because it is a central location to everything. Like, this would make for a great place to set up shop. It's one reason why I set up shop there a lot when I'm
Tell you what, you start running so I can stab you in the back.
yeah, no. How about You start running so I can blast you in the face. I do feel like she is starting to consider the war a lot more, and in her mind, it's not. In her mind, it's like she's thinking that it's probably going to be. She'll most likely join. I think she realizes that she'll most likely join the Imperials if she joins either one. Mostly just because of the fact that, ooh, hello, potions. Because of the fact that she has the thought process that um, she doesn't like um, the Stormcloaks, and she doesn't like the Imperials, but she likes the Imperials a lot more than she likes the Stormcloaks. All right, nice, decent bit of junk. So here's a Dwemer place. I'm wondering if the way that you were supposed to figure this out, because I was curious on how you were supposed to figure this out. As I can understand that there was a way to figure it out, but I'm wondering if the way you were supposed to figure this out was like you were supposed to find a place where the two areas matched. This is one of the Dwemer towers that we can't get inside of it. There's a lever you got to pull inside, and I don't think I can get inside with Zurin's Blink. Let's take a look real quick. If we can, we might use that to. It's too the spell's too wide to slip through the Dwemer's bars. Whoa. Well, this place is interesting. I think I know what this place is. I'm not interested in going into it because I don't have the associated quest with it. I have the start of the associated quest, but I have to go somewhere else before I can start it. I think this has to do with Perrier. And the afflicted refugee we ran into a long time ago at this point. Probably something Sarah vaguely remembers, as I'm pretty sure that was college. That was when she was in the college. 1 second while I open my menu a couple of times. I found that if I do that, it helps with if I'm scroll wheeling, and it doesn't affect my other monitor. If I've opened and closed the escape menu a couple of times. I've been playing other characters. I wasn't going to say anything about this, but I guess I'll say something about it because it is something I feel like you guys should know. I am considering adding more mods, but I'm afraid that if I do it too much, it'll end up breaking the game. So I was going to put out a poll, which will eventually go out, which will basically be 3 separate options. We're almost to the first area, which I already know what I need to do here. I don't know if this spell would work because this is all of the elements. I basically have to cast a fire element here. So, or not. Huh. Do I not have the book of... Oh, if I don't have the book of elements on me, I'm going to be upset. I didn't even realize I could take that out of my inventory. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so we walked all this way for nothing. I don't feel like walking all the way back to... I mean, technically, I wouldn't have to walk all the way back to anywhere. I could head over to Dawnstar and use the Dawnstar terminus. But I'm kind of annoyed with myself because I have no idea where that book will be now. Because, like I said, I sorted everything into the inventories. I'm not entirely sure where the book would be. I think I might know where I put it. Because I think I put all the books that I couldn't sort in the same location, and I wouldn't be surprised if that book went there. If not, it must have been sorted into its inventory where it would have gone, which would have been alphabetical, which once I remember what the name of it was, I will be able to find it. but I will have to look into that in order to figure that out. We might take care of the other quests here, since Sarah will most likely be drawn into it at some point while being here.
The road makes this one
So
new.
many
We
refuse
shall
to go. Take
speak
a
with the
look.
Khajiit real quick, see what they have for sale. Do apologize that we walked all this way for me just to find out we didn't have the book on us. That is my mistake for not taking into consideration the fact that I should look before I leap. Certain thought process. I think it's funny that both of these are Sheogorath related. I'm not entirely sure if this one is or not. Judging by the title, I would not be surprised if it was. I'm gonna buy some stuff so I can sell more potions. There we go. That might help us with our weight a little bit. I know we still have a bunch of material from the bear we harvested near Labyrinthia and a couple of other pieces.
I'm all ears.
80 Sam. Oh, I remember this. There's a quest here that involves him. He's someone who is added by the mod. Added by one of the creative contents. I think this is the terminus. Yes, it is. We actually haven't been to Dawnstar yet. So, this is the first time we've ever set foot in the Dawnstar terminus, I think. We might have stepped foot in it before because of something else. I think I know where the book is, so I will be right back. I'm going to go grab the book. We might do some stuff in Dawnstar, but I will be right back real quick. Alright, we're back. I have the book of Elemental Power. Power of the Elements, or Elemental Power, or whatever it's called. I think it's Power of the Elements because I had to go to P in the alphabet to find it. The good news is that everything in the books in her library are kept in alphabetical order unless they are unrelated to, unless there's something that it doesn't sort, and then I just throw those all in the same cabinet. I'd originally thought it got thrown in there because I could have sworn it did not get taken out of my inventory when I did the initial interacting with the basket, which will sort all my books, but it did not for some reason. It did take it out of my inventory. I get why it does, because it's got to be put on the pedestal, so that's it. It's my own fault for not thinking about that. We are also better off with our inventory now. We're down to 279 out of 420. I do have the Ring of Ancients off right now. I believe we have Akano's ring back on. I thought about putting the Ring of Musser on, which increases our illusion, but we're not really going to be using much of illusion yet, so... Ooh. Hello, locked chest. What could you have inside? We might go deal with Verbina's situation in Dawnstar. She didn't really have a reason to go into the inn, so she didn't get pulled into that quest, but we might go to the inn just to have her consider picking up a quest or something from there, or picking up some rumors, and then finding out about what's going on and dealing with that. So there's the Book of Elements. We cast that, we get that back, and I wonder if it's changed at all to help me keep track of which areas I've been to with the Book of Elements. Oh, okay. So all of that was part of the thing. And South Dwemer live and toil. A simple place, a shield from the draft. Okay, that makes sense. Stand at this stand, wield mage's craft. So fierce the sea will boil. So fire because it's gonna boil, and yeah, okay, I get what it's trying to go to now. Under the Greybeard's morning shadow, at this northern watch long lost, Nurin's her hoary throat, Nurin's hoary throat does scrape the sky. Here unleash a chill cry and glide this and gild this stand with frost. So she basically has to take it to the south of the Greybeards mountain and um, um, cast a frost spell on it. What's funny is me saying mountain there made me think of God of War, when Zeus is talking at the beginning of, I think it's God of War 3, and he talks about how his mountain grew from the river Styx. Or something like that. And every time I think of the word mountain, I think of the way he says it in that. Because he's like, my mountain. And like, then it reminds me of the Arbiter with his my law. Sarah has come a very long way in her journey. It's one reason why I do have a hard time wanting to go to a different journey. I have a story here that I do want to have told. There is an ending to it that I have intended. I don't know if it will be the ending we expect because it all depends on how the game runs. Obviously, if I run into something that I think would change her course, then it will change her course. But I kind of have an idea of where she'll end up today. Like, if it goes the way I expect, I have a way of an idea of how it will end for her. And it won't be like most people's Dovahkiins. It won't be like most Dragonborn. There will be other things that will happen to her that will lead to her and her afterlife and her retirement. But that is a long way away. Well, let's go to the inn. Oh, I forgot about you. That must be the second. I read somewhere where it was like Dawnstar is a very important town, and I was like, doesn't seem very important. And then they mentioned the fact that there are two Daedric quests that start here, and I was like, I know about Vermina. Where's the other one? I forgot about I forgot to think. I didn't think about Mehrunes Razor.
Your ancestors wouldn't want this, Silas.
Why should I hide from it? This is my family's legacy.
It's the past. Dead oaths on dead lips. Let it stay there.
The museum is opening, Medina.
You should probably be in bed. You're looking a bit under the...
Do I have another disease? That's the one negative about not being a vampire anymore. Yeah, I have ataxia. Progress is too severe. Ataxia, picking locks in pockets is 25% harder. So she basically have what basically is what, from what I can understand, it's basically Skyrim's version of what do you call it? It's Skyrim's version of arthritis.
And here comes my first visitor. The Museum of the Mythic Dawn is open, friend.
Museum of the Mythic Dawn. Isn't that the group that nearly destroyed Cyrodiil?
Yes. My collection of artifacts from a group that toppled an empire. Why don't you come in? You can browse the displays and we can talk. I have a job you look perfect for.
Sure.
Let's talk inside.
She definitely is interested in this.
Feel free to look around. Come talk to me.
We'll go over it more when We'll go over more when we get to the point of talking about it, but upon seeing the relics and banners of the Mythic Dawn, you hear a voice of their dark master in the back of your head. Oh crap, what did I just do? Follow the Daedric Prince Mehrunes Dagon. Mehrunes Dagon is the Prince of Destruction, Change, and Ambition. and to Esther of the Dark Elves. Suffer mental torment while praying to gain extra favor. Slay people who stand in your way. Defile the shrine of my enemies. Those skilled in destruction are most deserving of my favor. Now, this is interesting. I did not expect this, but I do like that it does this. Mehrunes Dagon is someone I feel like if Sarah was still in the throes of being corrupted, she might consider this, because those skilled in destruction are most deserving of my favor. She has 100 in destruction nearly. She has nearly mastered destruction. She is on her way of mastering it, and she holds a very high rank right now. But I think she chooses no. I think she defies Dagon and tells Dagon, no, I will not give in to your request. I will not give in to your demands.
Trees hung here and outside were found in hideouts.
Whoa, she got the blessing of Dagon. Maybe Dagon is still interested and reaches out and gives her a blessing to show her what she could have. Destruction spells are 10% more effective. I could see her going down that path if she's her mind is definitely tempted. She's trying to trust in Magnus and believe Magnus is better for her, but
Dawn would meet and plot. Those robes were worn during the Mythic Dawn secret meetings, where they plotted to bring the Daedra Mehrunes Dagon into Tamriel. Each bolt of yarn used to make the robe was colored with a dye made from sacrificial blood.
Dang. This.
Ah, yes. That scabbard.
Wanted to
Notice
do this
the
one
insignia?
last.
An Oblivion Gate. A key symbol of Mehrunes Dagon, the patron Daedra of the Mythic Dawn. That burned paper is all that remains of the fabled Mysterium Xarxes, the blasphemous book written by Mehrunes Dagon himself. It's said that Mankar Cameron used the book to open a portal to a paradise, where all his followers would live forever.
She finds this very interesting. The quest we're about to start may end the way it does because of this piece of paper. We'll explain. I'll talk about more once we get to that. This quest is going to take us a while because it goes all around Skyrim.
The commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes were written by the Mythic Dawn cult leader, Mankar Cameron. He promised a paradise awaited his followers when they died, that they would be reborn by Mehrunes Dagon's side.
Mind if I eat while you talk? Huh. It's interesting that he has the scabbard. Where's the rest of it? Interesting. Alright,
Did you have any questions about the museum, or would you rather talk business?
what was the Mythic Dawn? I heard stories from my parents about it, but I never really understood what they were.
They were worshippers of Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Lord of Destruction and Change. The Mythic Dawn killed Uriel Septim VII and his heirs, triggering the events that led to the Oblivion Crisis when the Daedra invaded Tamriel. All that remains of the infamous cult I've gathered in my museum.
I kind of understand who Mehrunes Dagon is. He's a Daedric prince. But can you tell me more about him?
Ah, an excellent question. Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric Lord of Change, Destruction, and Ambition. Dagon's Mythic Dawn cult killed the Septim Dynasty and opened the Oblivion Gates into Tamriel. They called it the Oblivion Crisis.
What was your reasoning for opening this museum? I kind of understand why you would want to, but it seems a bit, I don't know, dark.
It's no secret that my family were once members of the Mythic Dawn. One of my forefathers was even chosen to assassinate Uriel Septim himself. We hid from our past for years, became tradesmen, people of coin and influence. But I realized that the Mythic Dawn's importance, our importance, to history cannot be denied. I'll see everyone in Tamriel remember that for a moment, we held the fate of the world in our hands, for good or ill.
Definitely seemed like it was for ill. You mentioned a job of some kind. What's up?
A little history first. After the Oblivion Crisis, a number of groups cropped up dedicated to wiping out the remnants of the Mythic Dawn. One of these groups found Mehrunes' razor, the artifact of Dagon. They split it into 3 fragments and pledged to keep them apart forever. That was almost 150 years ago, and the pieces are still being kept by the descendants of that group, and they're right here, in Skyrim.
That's convenient. You want me to try and obtain the 3 fragments, don't you?
At least 2 of the owners, Gunzel and Draskua, are dangerous marauders, and the 3rd owner, Jorgen, I only know he lives in Morthal. Here are my notes about them. I'll gladly pay you for getting the pieces any way you can. No questions asked.
Interesting. What about this razor? I'd like to know more about what is it? Is it some kind of weapon or something?
The razor is Mehrunes Dagon's personal artifact. It has always heralded bloody change and carnage. It's held many names. Dagger of the Final Wounds, Bane of the Righteous, the Kingslayer. The Mythic Dawn worshipped Dagon as a god. Having his razor would be invaluable to my collection.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look
Good luck
around.
finding the fragments.
I'll keep an eye out for him. Mehrunes Dagon. Ambition, change, and destruction. Lord knows my ambitions have changed. Lord knows I've changed. Destruction is something I'm attempting to master. Huh. Don't worry, Magnus. I'm still gonna follow you. For now. For now.